Exact same thing I said about him. He's got his mic
Roger,
off.
can you hear me?
Jeff, you're coming in at about 3 by. And we have
Roger,
no video of you, Jeff.
Try unmuting.
Oh,
There you go. Roger, you there?
Yes, I am.
All right. So we have a quorum.
Hey everybody, just a heads up, you're live. I'm working with Mac to try to figure out how I can get him into the meeting, but you are live, so if you choose to go ahead, you're good.
All right, we can wait a minute. Mike, did you see that email I sent you?
yes, the one that came right this afternoon.
Yes, the blue star.
Yes, I saw that.
All right. Oh, and where's Lori? Lori, you out there?
I'm sorry, Jeff. Who are you looking for?
Lori Gishel.
She's not on. I don't know that she's going to be on. Was she supposed to be on?
Yeah, she's supposed to be on. She's going to talk about the website.
Oh, yeah. I don't see her on here. Let's see if I can reach her.
Do you others have video of Jeff?
Now I have an issue. I'm not sure what the issue is, but I have an issue.
All right, fine.
My camera is not me up.
So maybe you had a black eye you were hiding from us.
Lori Gishel has an invite. She should be joining. I think that's
Yes, she
popped
should.
in.
All right.
There she is. Lori is in as Allison.
Oh, I'm not sure about that, but my apologies. I was having trouble connecting.
All right. Why don't we call this meeting to order? I guess I won't see it, but maybe I will. Can somebody put the flag up, please?
I think Kirby's multitasking and he may not have
Are
it.
you still working with Mac?
Yeah.
Well,
I tell you what, how's this? Hang on one second. Can you see the flag out my window?
well, I got one on my desk, so. All rise, please.
I've got a beautiful shot.
I pledge allegiance
The United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call. Mr. Krumholtz? Chuck?
Present.
Here,
Sean Clifton is not here. Roger?
Here, sir.
Mac Parkhill, have you gotten on yet?
He's going to call in.
Hello, Mac. Okay. Tim Hansley? Tim? I know you're there, Tim. You were talking before. Mr. Hansley? Check your mute. Oh. Tim Hansley? Jeff Noble is here. John Reiner.
Here.
On. Keith,
Here.
Mike Kehoe,
Yes,
and Bonnie is absent. Okay.
I'm here, Jeff. Jan Rosansky.
Yes, I called your name. I thought I heard you.
I didn't hear my name.
Sorry. Has everybody had a chance to review the minutes of the November 12th meeting? There would be an answer to that.
Yes.
Yes or no?
affirmative.
Yes.
Okay. I will entertain a motion for the approval of the minutes of the November 12th, 2020 meeting.
So
I have a
moved.
motion? Do I have a second?
Jan Rosansky, second.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Okay. The minutes are approved. Item number 4, discuss the lights on the suspension bridge. I was over at our lovely rec center one morning, and 2 veterans came up to me and said, "What the heck? Why were there white lights on the bridge on Veterans Day?" Apparently the bridge did not get lit up in red, white, or blue or some appropriate color. Dana, can you talk to that a little bit?
Yeah, we've had no policy yet on setting the lights on the bridge. We have one now. It's in draft. In fact, we modeled that after the Empire State Building. So we were sure to cover anything and everything. So we have a very significant calendar that covers all of that, and we're vetting that internally now. We've been working on it actually for about, I don't know, the last couple months. So we'll be setting that administrative policy into place to set what the lighting will be on all holidays and recognitions and things like that.
So nobody really needs to do anything external. It will be.
No, we have Memorial Day, July 4th, Veterans Day, Flag Day, all of that covered in that policy. I will tell you, it's all red, white, and blue, which is what the colors will be. The only exception will be with becoming a Purple Heart City, which we'll talk about later. We added Purple Heart City as a Purple Heart Day, or however we established that day. At day, the bridge will be lit purple. So, but for any other veteran-related type thing, it would be red, white, and blue.
Okay. Any questions from the members? Okay. Speaking of Purple Heart City, number 5, Purple Heart City update.
Yeah, so the only update there is that, I don't know, I think we may have had a meeting since council passed your recommendation to become a Purple Heart City. So council did accept that recommendation, voted on it in the affirmative, so we'll be doing that. The issue here now is, when do you want to actually do that? So we have a proclamation that we're drafting, which is what the Purple Heart Society or the organization wants from the city to declare it. So we'll have that proclamation. The mayor's authorized to sign that proclamation by council. So she'll sign that at the appropriate time. The issue becomes, when do you want to actually do that and do the ceremony? I believe, I don't want to speak on behalf of Sean Clifton, but I thought where Sean and I had left it in our discussion was that he wanted to focus on a time when people could actually be together to celebrate that accomplishment, and not do it in this kind of a format or a virtual format. So the best option to try to achieve that would be on Purple Heart Day, which is August the 8th, I believe it is, or right around that. I believe it's August the 8th. So we were going to kind of shoot for August as that time frame to actually get that declared. And then, because what happens with that is, I think you saw in the PowerPoint presentation and stuff that Sean put together, they actually, the Purple Heart group comes to Dublin, complete dressed up and all that. They have a whole ceremony they do. We would want to do it that way as opposed to doing it virtually. So I don't know. I'm beginning to wonder if August is actually going to work, given how things are going with the vaccine and everything. That's probably our best chance is to try to do that in August.
And I agree. I think that's what was discussed previously by Sean, and makes sense to me.
Will the committee be available on that day? That'll be a busy day for them, won't it?
Yeah, the gentleman hinted to us that if we let him know early enough this year that they would put it on their calendar. He seemed to think that, but they, to your point, they could already be tied up. Who knows? But to do something around that time frame, if we can do it on Purple Heart Day, is what we would be shooting for. So.
Agree to that.
Jan, I think you're breaking up. I guess it's Jan that was talking.
Saying we'll need to make every day so that they can put it on their schedule for certain.
Yeah, we'll get the request in. Yeah, we'll get the request in. I think I just wanted to verify with everyone that you're okay with that time frame. So we'll go ahead and make that request.
Sounds good.
What are the dates of the Irish Fest this year?
Right before that. So it's always the first weekend of August. So these hit at about the same time. Speaking of bridges, we would light the bridge green that entire week, but we're going to switch it off green and switch it on to purple for a day and switch it back to green. So,
yeah, I mean, I don't know that you want to mix the two. So, yeah, that time frame probably is good. Anything else, Dana?
not on that topic, Mr. Chair. No.
Mr. Reiner, have you got anything else?
Yeah, I'm cool with this. I think this is the right approach.
Okay. DublinVeterans.com. Lori. And let me introduce Lori
All right.
to the membership. Lori works for the event staff. I'm not sure how the DublinVeterans.com got developed, but Lori certainly ended up as the gatekeeper for the time being anyway. Probably forever. Hopefully forever. Lori.
All right. Thanks, Jeff. And again, my internet is a little spotty, so if you can't hear me, please let me know. Thank you for allowing me to be here today. I think I have worked with most of you or met most of you, but if I have not had the pleasure of meeting you, again, I am Lori Gischel, not Allison Leroy, as it says on my screen. And I am the events administrator for the City of Dublin. I work with Jeff to help coordinate the Memorial Day and Veterans Day ceremonies. I also work with Don Pino to do the Wreaths Across America event, as well as the Dublin Irish Festival, Independence Day, St. Patrick's Day, Parade, all those events that we hope will be back here soon. So today, Jeff asked that I talk about veterans.com, and just a little beyond that, if you guys are not aware, this idea started back in last September when we were finalizing plans for the virtual Veterans Day ceremony. And we were looking at our city website and realized that a lot of the veterans information on there was either difficult to find or in the wrong place. So I was tasked with reformatting the city web pages to make them easier to navigate. And in talking with our communications team, they actually decided to up the idea a little bit and create an entirely new microsite. So where the DublinVeterans.com idea came from, its intent is to be a community resource. So it is separate from the city's website, but still owned and operated by the city. So as you'll see, it's got a little different look and feel, different logo to it. But the purpose of it is to be a community resource, and we definitely want to encourage community input on it. So we had a short window of time to get things ready, but we did launch the foundation of that website on Veterans Day this past year. And moving forward, we want to encourage you to definitely have your input in recommending new ideas and what you would like posted on there. Jeff asked me to quickly go through as far as the editing policy goes.
On there right now.
Moving forward, we've decided, and again, welcome to your feedback, but the chair of this committee, along with myself and Shirley from our communications team, will be reviewing the website on a every 3 months. We'll be taking a look to make sure that everything's up to date, current, see if there's any changes that are needed. And then if there's other time-sensitive information beyond those quarterly reviews, we'll definitely take a look at and try to get everything updated as quickly as possible. As far as all the event information, it reaches across America, that those pages are up to date. And then if there's any major updates, so if you want to add an entirely new component to the website, or if there's any debatable or questionable content that we're looking at, we'd like your input. So we're going to bring that back to the committee, this committee, for your review and for your input. Ultimately, it'll be the city that decides what goes on the website, but we definitely want to include you as well as far as what is needed and what we can do to improve that website. Other than that, want to make sure that we include all branches of service. Is there a chance to see the website?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, curious question. This is Mike Kehoe. The site is a .com, which is normally a for-profit venture. Is there a reason it is that versus a .org?
I do not know the answer to that question, but I can find out for you.
Okay.
Other questions? If you've been out to the website, what was out there was videos of Memorial Day, Veterans Day, the wreath laying ceremony. We recently added a bit, or are adding, it isn't there yet, a little piece on the Blue Star Memorial. Some of you may remember back in 2015, the Garden Club up in Muirfield supported a memorial in Dublin Cemetery called the Blue Star Memorial. It's part of a national organization. So there is such a memorial in the cemetery, and they will put a link to that on the website. Also, as far as that Blue Star Memorial, I sent it over to Mike because that's probably an item that needs to eventually get on the virtual tour. So, do you have questions?
Website again.
Okay, moving right along. Michael, you're up.
Okay, one of our projects was coordinating with the library for a potential visual display out their window. They're standing the north end of the library looking out at the grounds of remembrance. Nick Plowk and I, plus Roger Ansel, have had some conversation with the library personnel. They indicated that they were open to that. Nick and I had a follow-up conversation in late November, came up with the concept that would be easy to implement. Might call this a phase one concept. There can be multiple phases to this project if the city develops it further, if the library agrees, and so on. Um, with this phase one, we would be proposing to put a pedestal that would stand there near the window, and the pedestal would have a sign on it. In the email I sent, I indicated that, well, Jeff sent the email to you. In that email, there was a Word document. The Word document would be a proposed sign. And the sign would be on top of a very simple pedestal. There's the pedestal. Thank you very much. It can be that. It could be something more like an actual lectern. This seemed to be very simple and easy. Again, I was just going out to the internet looking for a pedestal. And now, of course, every time I go on the internet, I'm seeing commercials for pedestals. That's a side issue. The second item in that in the email Jeff sent out was a Word document. The Word document, again, is a very, very rough depiction of what would be a sign at the top of that pedestal. It would be, in a sense, flat against the pedestal and then kind of folded up so to catch somebody's eyes they're walking by. View here. The document read your window view from here, just to catch them. And I drew a line there kind of where it would be folded. And then below that, there would be 3 QR codes that somebody could take their smartphone, click on that Dublin QR code. The first thing they would get would be the video tour of the grounds of remembrance. They could also use the Dublin QR code and get an overview of the history of the cemetery that's there. I didn't quite have a formal name, so I just put XXX Historic Cemetery. And then the last item that would be there, Indian Run Falls Park. That sits back in there. They could get trail information on that, an overview of the park. That, again, is the concept. If the committee agrees that what we're moving forward with is logical, appropriate, and doesn't seem out of reason from at least a budget standpoint, we developed this a bit further, going back to, I think somebody on a prior meeting had referenced a Katie Burns, who was affiliated with a graphics company based in the city of Dublin. Had them come up with something a bit more formal, go back to the library, saying, here's what we're proposing for a phase one, looking at that window. If they're agreeable to that, certainly we'd come back. And of course, we'd then go into further, you might say, second phase of implementation, getting the actual signage construction, the QR code set, and then the budget approved by council, or however it has to be approved for this to go forward. It's kind of the concept of where we are right now. At that point, I'd stop talking and open for discussion.
So your comments, discussion, please. Anybody?
Silence is consent, Jeff, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I like it.
Talking. Mike, on that pedestal, is this pedestal going to be moved up and down as far as the person using it? As far as if you have a little smaller person rather than a 7-foot person?
Oh, this pedestal is designed height-wise to be something, as you can see on there, it looks like there's an iPad. Somebody
Right.
walk up and use an iPad. So I don't believe it's that tall.
Okay, okay.
Hey, Mike, hey, thank you for all the hard work. I think the pedestal's cool. It looks inviting. It looks interesting. It looks like something that you would approach and want to get information out of. So I think you covered all the bases. Thanks.
Thank
you. Any other discussion?
Mr. Chair, this is Dana. Just a couple comments there relative to some things Mike said. So, I mean, the project is very doable from a staff perspective. Budget-wise, I don't really think that's something we have to get council approval on. Something that we can do. I would, obviously make them aware through these minutes or a report to council, or council member Reiner would report it out. So it's something that's very executable administratively. When it comes to the design, though, we probably would not use an outside source. We'd probably use our own communication staff because they do all the branding and all that kind of stuff. They can put all the pieces and parts together for it, along with our IT staff, to make sure all those codes and everything. So that way I'm not having another outside contract with someone else. But if that particular person is someone that's we may already have a contract with, we'll use them as well. But I think this is everything we could design internally. So.
That's excellent. We're very open to that. It makes it even easier for us, Dana. Thank you.
Any other discussion? I would entertain a motion to let the committee move forward.
Well, I will make the motion that we'll call this the library project, move forward as discussed in the meeting.
Do I have
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 The only one additional item on this, Jeff, Nick Plauk had been working on this with me. I understand Nick has been moved to a new job. So I'll just look to Dana for some guidance as to whether or not Nick remains with this or somebody else comes on. And if you could also identify who in the communication staff would be picking up, that would be helpful to us.
Yeah, sure. No, I got rid of Nick. I threw him out of my office. Had enough of him. So, he's on today, but he's gone down the street to get some experience in our operational area. So Nick and Kirby and I will talk about how to make sure you've got appropriate support. I'm in the process of trying to backfill Nick's job here going forward. So positions. So we'll make sure that you have continuity. So feel free to email him and or Kirby and myself. We'll make sure that you're supported.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right. And along those lines, on the library part of the project, I've been working with Tom Holton and the historical folks about how we can find background information on any veteran that's in the cemetery. It turns out that any veteran that has been buried more than 29 years, we can access their records. So we would start with that, get a 214 or whatever documentation they have in there, and help the historical people identify the codes and whatever that are in the document. And we'll do a bit of a write-up, I think. So they were somewhat excited about it. It sounds like something else that we can do. The next question might be, we know that there's a database, I think, and I don't remember, did I send you all the information on how to access the cemetery database? The city has a database that you can look at the cemetery, you can zoom down onto a portion of it, and if it's a yellow marker, that's a veteran, and you click on that and it will tell you who it is and give you some basic information, name and date of interment, that sort of thing. Did I send that out? If I haven't, I will do so.
I received it, Jeff.
You got it?
I did.
Okay, did anybody else?
Yes.
Okay, so I did send it out. So I guess once we figure out who the coordinator is for the overall project, I can talk to him about the city coordinator. If there's room enough in the database to put that kind of information, that sort of thing. What your limits might be and whatever. I mean, if we put Bill Doty in there, I did some research on his unit and I could put 35 pages of documentation out there on Bill Doty. So, any other questions on the Veterans Corner and interactive displays at the library, grounds of remembrance, and or the cemetery? And I'm including the cemetery roughly because you got the Blue Star Memorial in there and some other stuff. Anything else? Okay, other new business. Any of you have anything else that you've come up with that you're interested in pursuing?
Jeff, is there an update on the reconditioning or the new stone that we're replacing the old wooden plaque that used to be in front of the 1919 building?
Not
Any
that I
update on
know
that?
of. The last I knew it was at the stone cutters and it was gonna take some time. They were talking about, I think, the spring to get it back and installed. Dana, do you have anything else?
Yeah, Kirby, I think, is trying to pull up a photo of it. So this is the new
Oh,
stone that's been cut. It's in pieces and parts, but nonetheless, it's been cut, getting ready to be shipped. I don't know if you've been over by the grounds of Remembrance lately, but the base is in. It's actually been in for, I think, a couple months. And so this is what will be set up, on top of that. So, sorry, it's not assembled so that you can see it, but wanted you to see that it's
no, that's all right.
to be set.
The question might be, when do we want to do some sort of a ceremony for it? And I am not want to do it on Memorial Day, and that a lot of these people weren't dead when they were etched in that stone. But I would listen to anybody else's discussion about that. Anybody? It's very quiet out there.
I think of an appropriate day for an unveiling.
One that we can all get together without worrying about the virus.
Yes.
Yeah,
I had my shot today. I feel good.
Good for you.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, they could move the memorial and put it in place, and we could have an appropriate ceremony for it sometime after that. I think what we were looking at last year was to try and get it done for Veterans Day, and maybe Veterans Day of 2021 is the answer. Even if it's been in place for 6 months or whatever.
Yeah.
Works for me.
Yep. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, we definitely want them to go ahead and set it as soon as it's, shipped and ready, because
Right.
my experience is you leave this stuff laying around, somebody's bound to run over it, hit it, break it, something. So that's
Great.
Dana McDaniel's luck, by the way. So since I've been involved with the project, I will have already texted. So I think we should stand it up, and then, as you suggest, at the appropriate time, we can dedicate it down the road and let people enjoy it in the meantime. The other option too is if you don't want to wait, and people go, well, gee, what is this? Back to the QR code, we could have a video made that talks about the history of it, why it's there, and people can, access something like that as well. And they would have the answer to what it's there. And then as far as the dedication goes, you could certainly do that as part of Veterans Day. And I don't think any harm, any foul on that. And people be aware of the background. So I think you'd ultimately probably want to have that anyway, right? So
Yes.
Dana, would you be able to give us a heads up as to when they're going to set that stone? So we might as well take a look at it, or else being assembled or something like that.
Sure, yeah. I mean, as soon as Matt gives me the heads up set, we'll certainly get something out to you, let you know.
What are they going to do with the old one, Dana?
I don't know. Probably put it in our pile of granite and stuff we have at the service complex, I would imagine. But first thing we got to do is check all the print against it, triple check it, make sure it's right. But that's on the company who makes it. So we'll see how that goes. We'll probably store it somewhere.
Okay.
For future placement in our historic museum.
Maybe.
Well, Tom Holton says he's got a bunch of stuff in the basement of the police station or the Justice Center. Where are they storing the memorabilia that comes off the wall at the Grounds of Remembrance at the park?
I'm not sure offhand. I'll have to double check that for you.
I mean, I guess if there's room, that might be another option. I'm not sure there's room because most of what is left behind at that wall is paper or pictures or small items. But
the thing I'll remind you all of is that stone in front of the school is not historic. Because I'm not that old. I'm the one who did it.
well,
So the point is, the original one, decayed many, many years ago, right? Because it was wooden, as you recall.
right.
The only reason to put the stone back up the way we did was so we could memorialize the names and have that there as a placeholder, is all it ever was intended to be. And now that we've got this very beautiful one in place, the old stone, frankly, doesn't hold any historic value.
Well, that is true.
So, yeah, I just point that out.
Maybe it just goes to the heap.
It could, very well could. So,
Donate it to Rumpke.
there you go.
All right. Any other new business? Anybody? Okay.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, just real quick, Jeff, I'm sorry. I did look on the calendar while you all were talking, and actually the Irish Festival, which is usually it's in the first couple of days of August. It's the first full weekend of August is the 7th and the 8th, right, Lori? So that's going to fall right on top of Purple Heart Day. So we might be to our advantage to try to do something like a week ahead or a week after. So just so you're aware of that as background, it might be.
I agree. I mean,
pull that off on the same weekend because the 8th is a Sunday. So.
all right. Yeah, I agree. That probably makes some sense. Obviously, you and John need to talk to the guys over there in Dayton or wherever it is. See what they can do about time.
Yeah, we'll get that done for the next meeting.
Okay. Thursday, March 18th, 3:30 p.m. Anybody have a problem with that date time? Anybody think we need to have a monthly meeting rather than every other month? I did send a note to Sean and Bonnie because they couldn't make it today, just to make sure that it wasn't a date time thing, that it was just a one-off, that they couldn't make it. And they have not yet responded, but if you have no problems with the third Thursday, and we'll keep going every other month, unless we see a need to have a one the following month. Any issues? Okay. Anybody have good of the order stuff? No. All right. Well, guess what? I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Have a great day, guys.
Thanks.
Jeff.
Bye now.
Ray, if you're still there.